What's going on, my friends? We got another video coming down the pipeline. Top 25 for Galaxy of Heroes. This list was voted on for the month of November. Life has been crazy for me, obviously. So I'm just now getting to this, but I'm excited to give the list to you guys now. I will give you guys a quick update. I've had a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline for my work situation. Nothing set in stone yet, but a few things that look pretty promising. I'm really optimistic and excited about what's going on. Also, I've been focusing a lot on my second channel, which I'm covering Dragon Champions on. Link down below in the description on how you guys can download that and play if you want to enjoy that with me. That does benefit the channel. But I also decided I'm just going to start covering Marvel Strike Force as well on that second channel from a very beginner standpoint. It's a game I've always wanted to play. I know there's controversy with it. I know there's things that people don't like about Marvel Strike Force, just like there's things that people don't like about Galaxy of Heroes. But ultimately, I like the format for Galaxy of Heroes. I love Marvel. And so I'm going to start covering that over there as well. I'm going to kind of go back and forth between DC and Marvel Strike Force videos. So go check out that channel. Link is down below in the description for both how to download Dragon Champions and how to get to my second channel, which is aptly named CFH. So this has always been one of my favorite videos every month to break down the top 25 when I started YouTubing. If anyone doesn't know how this works, when I started YouTubing, it was one of the first things I ever did. One of my first ever videos was a top 15 for Galaxy of Heroes. I finally expanded it to top 25 about a year ago, and we've been doing that ever since. Now, the list is a bit unique this time. Normally, I have a group of experts that vote on the list, but this month I wanted to open it up to the general public, and every once in a while I like doing this, just have anybody who wants to vote, and see how the lists compare. And there's some notable differences, but it's remarkably similar, which I think shows you the community grip and perception on what the most valuable characters in the game are is pretty consistent with my pollsters. But again, a couple notable differences that I'm going to highlight in this video. And I'll tell you guys how it changed from last month. Okay, starting with the bottom of the list, numbers 25 through 16. Number 25 is Bastila Shan, light side version. She wasn't even ranked last month, and so she is making it up into the list. I think she was just one spot out of the list, and so it looks like, she just showed up, but she was pretty close last month. R2-D2 is in at number 24. He fell one spot this month. Asajj Ventress was not rated as well, and she shows up. I think she deserves to be there. Rey Jedi Training is in at number 22. She was at 21 last month. Darth Nihilus is in at number 21. He swapped spots with Rey Jedi Training, so he just jumped one spot. Fives, he stayed the same. Fives is number 21, or 20. That's where we're keeping him. 20 for Fives. That's what you get, buddy. Enfys Nest is in at number 19. Number 18 is Geonosian Brood Alpha, and then we've got Rex at number 17 and C-3PO in at number 16. He stayed the same. Rex jumped up 2 spots from last month. He's sitting at 17 this month. Rex was at 19 last month. I think with the establishment of this new General Skywalker meta that we're living into, especially with ARC Trooper, it makes sense to me that Rex is where he's at. Speaking of ARC Trooper was not contemplated in this list when the pollsters were voting on it, when all of you guys were voting on it. ARC Trooper had just gone farmable, and so I didn't think it was valuable to put him on to consider him this month. We will consider him next month. But for this month, it's just not in the wild enough yet to really make a call on where he deserves to be. But the reports early on it looks like he's pretty decent and might really establish Anakin as meta. So it makes sense to me that Rex jumped a couple spots. Rex has an Annihilate now, guys, and he's in the meta team. If anything, I think he might be underrated. If you've got a really fast Rex, you can get to that Annihilate fast. I'm calling it Annihilate, but, I actually forget what the ability's called just because we always call it Annihilate, it seems like. But that's just really valuable to have that on your team. And so I think it totally makes sense to see him jump spots. Everything else pretty much just feels it's basically the same. We've got a little bit of movement here, like a couple characters shifting down one spot. Brood Alpha, Nest, Rey Jedi Training, R2-D2 all shifted down one spot. It's just a little variance, but a little variance isn't that significant to me. It could be a matter of a couple of points. It could be a matter of one person not showing up to vote that would have made that otherwise. And so if it's just one spot, it doesn't really catch my eye too much. So I'm going to highlight more when people jumped multiple spots. All right, which, by the way, this month, it's remarkable. I'll talk a little bit more about this when we have the whole list in front of us. But this month, there was only one character that shifted more than 2 spots. Only one. And so it shows you, and that's with a completely different group of people voting on this. So I think it's very interesting. All right, number 15. We'll do the next group of 5. Chewbacca in at number 15. He's the one who dropped the farthest. Out of everyone, Chewbacca fell 4 spots. Everyone else was within 2 spots of movement. Darth Traya in at number 14. She stayed the same. Han Solo is in at number 13. He did jump 2 spots from 15 last month. Thrawn is in at number 12. I was looking at last month's number 12. This month's number 12 is Thrawn. He fell 2 spots. CLS in at number 11. He jumped 2 spots. CLS last month was in at number 13. Now, this segment of 5 characters is where the most significant impact was on this list. Darth Traya stayed the same. Otherwise, CLS jumped 2 spots. Thrawn was down 2 spots. Han Solo was up 2 spots. Chewbacca was down 4 spots. And so there was a lot of shuffling in between the 11 to 15 range. Han Solo jumping 2 spots and Chewbacca falling 4 spots. That's probably the biggest disconnect we've got here on this list from the people to the pollsters, that the people just seem to not see eye to eye, because I don't think much changed there. And if it did, I would assume both Han and Chewie would move in the same direction, but they moved in opposite directions. Han went up 2 spots, Chewie went down 4 spots. And so that to me just kind of feels like a bit of an outlier and inconsistency with how the public feels about Han and Chewie versus how the pollsters feel about Han and Chewie. I think what it kind of comes down to is the pollsters weren't pairing Han and Chewie together as closely as the public are. It looks like the public, when they voted, because what you notice, Han Solo came up closer to Chewbacca, and Chewie fell down a little bit more, but they're only 1 away from each other. Chewbacca's 15, Han is 13. And so I think what that might be more than anything is that the public maybe puts a little less value on Han and Chewie, and they view them very tightly knit, whereas the pollsters were able to separate the two a little bit more. Whether that's good or not, I'm not sure. I kind of don't separate them in my mind because you rarely see one without the other. All right, looking at 10 through 6. Number 10, we got Yoda. He did climb 2 spots. General Kenobi stayed exactly the same. Padme Amidala is in at number 8. We have got Bastila Fallen in at number 7. Both Padme and Basil, by the way, fell 1 spot this month. And then Jedi Anakin in at number 6. He climbed 2 spots. Now, I think it's notable that Jedi Anakin climbed 2 spots when he's not really in the meta team, but I feel like his value has increased. I mean, a lot of people did not get General Skywalker, and I think that having that, Jedi Knight Anakin team with Padme is just very, very valuable. It's my personal favorite team that I've got. It's probably my strongest team. I've got the Relic on Jedi Knight Anakin, and it just really wrecks people. And so it kind of makes sense to me. I think maybe last month people were a bit timid about it, like, I don't know, Jedi Knight Anakin, he's good, but we got this new thing, General Skywalker. I think now that the dust settling on that, we're realizing, yeah, General Skywalker's good, but it's not really taken away from how good Jedi Knight Anakin is either. Bastila Shan, Padme, a little bit of movement, not much. Yoda jumping 2 spots. I don't know if he necessarily gained in value. That may just be that the public feels a bit better about Yoda. I think that's a bit more accurate, honestly. I think Yoda's a top 10 character to me. I think Yoda's amazing. He's got some great DPS. He's going to be a great counter in a Jedi Knight Revan team for General Grievous, and he's going to have a ton of utility. He's going to work in a lot of different teams. So I like Yoda in at number 10. All right, now rounding out the list with the top 5. Starting with number 5, we have got Jedi Knight Revan. This is the lowest I've ever seen Jedi Knight Revan. Number 5, pretty crazy to see him there. He did drop only one spot. He was at number 4 last month. General Grievous fell a spot, guys. I know. There are tears in the galaxy for this one. He did fall one spot. He was at number 3 last month. Now he's in at number 4. Here we got General Skywalker in at number 3. He climbed 2 spots. So the public is giving him a little more love than the pollsters did last month. And then the top 2 are exactly the same. Darth Revan in at number 2 and Darth Malak in at number 1. So, zooming out, looking at the whole list, some big impressions here. I think that a lot of this kind of makes sense that we're living into this General Skywalker meta. Otherwise, most things seem pretty much the same. Maybe we've got a bit of a difference in opinion on Han and Chewie from the people to the pollsters. But otherwise, most of the movement here seems consistent with this new meta we've got with General Skywalker. I'm interested to see what ARC Trooper is going to do to potentially change that. I think we saw Rex climb spots for this. I think we're also seeing Jedi Knight Anakin getting some love. I think people are just realizing, all right, he's still got tons of solid utility in this game. He's especially going to be a great counter to Darth Revan teams and that kind of thing. So, let me know what your thoughts are about this list down in the comments below. And if you guys like the video, give the video a thumbs up. It absolutely helps the channel. And as always, my brothers, don't forget